Hello there, you're welcome to the newspaper review here on TAF TV. My name is Ayo Keme and I am your host for today. Alright, for today we'll not be doing this newspaper review thing alone. I'm here with my lovely brother Ekong Bright. It's good to have you around, bro.
Yeah,
how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. As you know, it's the weekend.
Well, obviously, thank God it's Friday, bro.
Thank God it's Friday and we're going to party. That's what the Gen Z people call it.
Obviously.
But beyond all of that, we have to take note of what is happening in the country. And I feel like this is one reason why we are here today, seated to talk about the headline trending on the front pages of the newspaper here in Nigeria. But one thing we also have to look at is the fact that the Friday is one time that every worker, every Nigerian worker always look up to, apart from those that are into businesses and some people that have their work days that hit into the Saturdays and all of that. So the weekend is practically one time where families and friends get to like relax, have time together.
That reunion comes up again.
And all of that, where they go back home and sometimes they go on vacation just 2-3 days. Sometimes people go as far as traveling to the villages just to have that fresh
good time,
and all of that.
That relaxation mindset.
Yeah, but it's really good. But one thing that is like making the buzz for today in Nigeria is the fact that Nigeria is also playing South Africa today. That is the World Cup qualifier. And it's one time that every Nigerian, every sport lover is looking out for and being like, oh yes, we need to qualify. We know the last time Nigeria did not qualify for the World Cup. But this time, like every fan, we hope what happened in Abuja doesn't happen.
No, please. No. It's not going to happen. Oh yeah, it's a blessed town. It can't happen.
Yeah, so we hope everything goes well and yeah, I'm happy to be here.
All right. It's good to have you around.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Now you know you also can be part of this show. Do well to follow us up on all our social media handles. And if you're yet to subscribe, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please subscribe so that you keep updated each time we drop videos that are showing the reactions of Nigerians. All right, now let's dive into the headlines and see what the headlines has for us. Now, today being 7th of June, 2024, we're considering first the Vanguard. Now, on the front page of the Vanguard, we're seeing minimum wage talk. Labour gets restrive as federal government plays a waiting game. Details of that is found on page 5. Heritage Bank customers count losses, wait anxiously for NDIC. Details of that is found on page 4. Presidency to Atiku. No 5.4 trillion naira fuel subsidy provision in 2024. Details of that, you can read that up on the Vanguard newspaper on page 9. Now, moving on. We have reps move to create new state in Southeast as bill passes first reading. Details of that is found on page 11. All right, now next we're considering the Punch. Now on the front page of the Punch we have $3.3 billion loan for crude. Federal government gets 925 million lifeline as Naira trades 1,481 per dollar. Details of that is found on page 2. Motorist groans as flood overruns Lagos-Ibadan Express bridge. Others, details of that is found on page 5. That is quite a sad one at that. All right, now lastly for today, we're considering The Guardian. And on the front page of The Guardian, we have poverty amid plenty. Wow, interesting. Growing nation of destitute as homeless kids invade Abuja, Southwest. That's a big story on page 4 and 5 of The Guardian. Tinubu's government under pressure to refute continuance of gun fuel subsidy. Details of that is found on page 6. All right, now lastly on The Guardian, we are having, again, federal government fails to agree with Labour on new minimum wage. Details of that is found on page 6. All right, that is all we have for you in regards to the headlines that are making rounds on the newspaper. All right, now, Mr. Ekong Bright, over to you now. I would like your thoughts on this particular one, this one that catches my attention on page 5 of the Punch, the one that has to do with motorist grunts as flood overruns Lagos-Ibadan Express bridge. Now, excuse me, let's take it from the angle of bad roads first in our dearest nation, Nigeria.
Before now, even up until this time, we still have like roads in different communities that are bad, even in villages and all of that. But this is one route that links Lagos and Ibadan. So definitely it's an expressway, and it is supposed to be the duties of the federal government to handle that particular road. Now, let's look at the road in general. Now, that road has been there for years.
Obviously.
And people and commuters have been complaining about that road over time. When it comes to periods like this, the rainy season, we tend to see that the road gets flooded when there is little or no, just a little light or heavy downpour, the road is flooded and it's very difficult for commuters to access that route who are traveling from Lagos to Ibadan. Even those that have probably their companies or jobs, they need along that axis, and it's going to be difficult for people like that to make ends meet, in the sense that in periods like this, when you are not able to go to work, when you're not able to be productive in your offices, when you're not being able to carry out businesses based on the fact that whatever you're doing, that axis lies on a particular axis, so it's going to be like very difficult, and this will lead to more poverty.
Surely. No, obviously.
Definitely. Because once you're not
the commercial access.
That's the commercial axis. So if that road is not being done, then I think it's going to come 3-5 years from now. If that road still remains the same, it's going to get into a worse state. And believe me, it might get to a point whereby for every Nigerian to use Lagos to Ibadan, we have to look for another route.
Okay, so I also like your, speaking of roads, of late we've heard of the groundbreaking between Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. Now, don't you think, just like you said, most of these roads have been bad for years, and all of a sudden our government are telling us that they are inaugurating another fresh expressway? Don't you think they should have actually channeled this energy to fixing some commercial roads, just like this Lagos-Ibadan Expressway?
What I tell every person I sit down with, that I have opportunity to sit with, and we want to talk about Nigeria in general and politics and the transition of government. I tell people that what we see in today's government, what we've always seen in Nigerian government is the fact that for every leader that comes in, we know that you have your own ideology, and that you are coming to
actually give us the picture of what
is on your mind and all of that. But one thing that we lack is the essence of continuity. Continuity in the sense that, let's say a previous government comes out and he says, okay, I want to do the Lagos-Ibadan road, and he gets on with the project, completes it.
It's not just getting on,
completes it, no doubt, and hands over to the next government. Let's say 4, 5, 6, 7 years. No, it's not even 5 years, because most Nigerian presidents, once they come into power, they tend to stay for 2 tenures. Let's say the 5th president after him comes into power and finds out that the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is bad. What comes to your mind at that point in time? Is it for you to try to create an alternative
route?
No, that's not what should be on your mind. Why not fix the road that is already there? Why not look for, that is what we call continuity. We have a building, an artifact, a museum, a stadium. Look at the National Stadium in Lagos. It's been abandoned.
Obviously.
No maintenance,
like
no continuity. No continuity in government. You come into power, you look at the things that the past governor or the past government has done, and you look at it and look, oh, it's going bad. Why not look for a way and maintain it? Yes, that is the essence. Even in as much as you want to do something new,
I feel that is the mentality they have.
I have to leave a mark, I have to create a legacy or something like that. But we have gone past that. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway should be fixed, because this is a point whereby, Nigerians are clamoring for. In short, every government has the necessity, the obligation to come into power and give us the basic needs that we need. Good roads. That is for transportation.
There are manifestos every year.
Welfare. And other things, water, electricity, health. And in as much as people don't want to talk about it, a good minimum wage that will allow us...
we'll actually get into that.
You know, that will allow every Nigerian to be able to purchase... that is the essence of every government. That is what every citizen is looking out for every government. We are not asking for much. We are not asking for you guys to come and share money for us. Even as much as they come out and do it before elections. But what we clamor for at this point in time is the fact that when you get into power, look at the basic need of every Nigerian man. Look at the basic need of the masses. And once you can answer them, believe me, see, if you have a president that can look at all these things and achieve all of them, Nigerians
will be a better place.
Apart from Nigeria being a better, Nigerians, we Nigerians, we will worship them as gods.
The Japan syndrome will actually leave us.
Definitely will not be there, because once you look back to, let me tell you, for every Nigerian man traveling out of Nigeria, it is not because the outside world is actually better than us and all of that. Because if you look at Nigeria, we have all the natural resources.
Obviously.
We don't have any form of hazard. The only hazard we have is our government.
Obviously.
Definitely.
The corruption hazard.
Definitely. So if you can make our places, you can improve our infrastructure, create job employment. Do you think that every youth coming out of
would actually want to step out?
We have everything here. See, the only reason why we'll be going out there is just for holidays, go there and come back and relax. So that's what we need. So the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, I think that road should be fixed because commuters are complaining. They're not being able to go by their daily activities. And from the report, we found out that the flood was just so much that it was even covering cars and all of that. We know when things like this happen, it might lead to loss of life and properties.
Lastly, on this particular headline, I would like your thoughts. Do you think this particular government is doing more of competition and misplaced priorities?
Every government in Nigeria is actually competing with the past government. And some projects that they tend to carry out, it's always misplaced priority. And we can see that from the last bill that was passed by the National Assembly that has to do with the national anthem.
Obviously, quite funny.
What's the need of that?
I wonder.
So in as much as this government is actually ongoing to the next one, we would also see more misplaced priorities. But as
unnecessary competitions.
They should look at the basic needs of this common Nigerian man.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ekong Bright. All right, now moving on, we're seeing another catchy headline here. On page 11, it says, Reps move to create new state in Southeast as bill passes first reading.
Talking about misplaced priorities.
That's why I asked, because I saw this comment.
Talking about misplaced priorities, I feel like this is not the time for it. But in as much as this is not the time for it, now this the motion, this bill was brought to the House by Groan, a House of Rep members from Imo State. And the reason why he's coming out to say this is basically, I don't even see the need for it. Now, if this state is being added, Nigeria will now have 37
states.
And
which is, according to them,
including the FCT. Now, according to him, this is like every other geopolitical zones in Nigeria have 6 states.
That was his major point.
Except for the Southeast, which has just 5 states.
I can sense some level of selfishness in that.
So he's coming out to say, the new state should be created with Olu as its state capital. And for that, we'll make the Southeast Eastern geopolitical zone also 6 states in terms of rounding up all the geopolitical zones. But in as much as probably what he's saying to him and his other members
are actually making
sense to them, but this is not the right time. This is the time where Nigerians are clamoring for a better governance. Things are actually going down the drains. The Nigerian Labour Congress are asking for a new minimum wage. And all of this is happening at a time whereby the average Nigerian man cannot, is not even, I'll take that again. This is happening at a time where the average Nigerian man is finding it really difficult to feed.
Obviously.
Now, finding it difficult to feed in the sense that, now there's a routine we do back then in school. We call it 101 or 010. Now, so this has become a formation or a strategy for every household in Nigeria.
To actually survive currently.
Is this how we are going to go on continuously in Nigeria?
Obviously.
There'll come a time where we have to do 000.
No, please.
But we pray,
so help us, God.
But we pray it doesn't get to that. But talking about the new states coming into the South Eastern region, maybe it's a good one. Maybe
at some point,
maybe it's due so that we'll have a balance.
Okay, I feel you shouldn't draw conclusions yet. Now, when we're talking about the Southeast, we still have the indigenous people of Biafrans to deal with. Now, from the angle of that, we are yet to actually satisfy that angle yet. These guys are actually forming a republic in the Southeast. They are known for, just like the case of what happened in Abia State. We used to have 3 days shut down, sit at home. They are yet to actually, that's to say, if they get to create more states into the Southeast, it will come a time where a whole state will actually shut down. What's your take on this indigenous people of Biafra these new states that it's like adding to their armors?
No, I don't really think it's about adding to their armor. The indigenous people of Biafra is actually different from the whole state nation and all of that, because the Biafrans, as they call themselves, IPOBs, I think they are looking for an independent.
Yes.
They want to become independent.
Obviously. And
away,
my point is,
away from Nigeria.
Now, having to add more states to the southeast because the IPOBs, just like you call them, they dwell on the southeast most. Now, having to add more states, don't you think is a threat?
It's not a threat.
Okay.
I don't think it's a threat because adding more states to them and them seeking for independence, it's different.
Okay.
Them asking for independence because they feel like, okay, they have gotten past that point. They don't want to be part of Nigerians anymore. They want to have their own country, their own system of government and all of that, which is actually different for this particular bill coming into the house whereby they want more. No, this is like equality.
Okay.
This is what the new state coming into the southeastern region is actually looking like, equality. 6 different states for different regions.
Surely.
They don't want to be short of a particular state in their own region. So this is like looking for more seats in the house.
Yeah. Okay. So, more financial benefits, obviously.
Definitely.
That's why I say I sense some level of selfishness in this state's creation.
In as much as this is coming to look like, oh yes, it's a good one coming to them, but they're looking for equality and all of that. Like you said, there's always an underlayer body that we are not seeing at this point in time. But let's hope, or would I say, let's see what comes next after this bill goes to the 2nd or 3rd reading, and that's what we are looking for at this point in time.
All right, Sam. All right, Mr. Ekombrad, you've actually given us, in quotes, in-depth analysis about topical things that are actually trending on the newspaper headlines. All right, now let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at the very last headline that we have for you today. Stay tuned.
Hey there. Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
All right, Mr. Ekombrad, now let's get you to throw more light into the issue of minimum wage. You know, it has been ringing bells on every single headline. Now, on the Guardian, we're having it that, again, federal government fails to agree with Labour on new minimum wage. Firstly, do you think it's okay to actually increase our workforce, their salaries? Do you think it's okay?
Definitely.
Okay. What are your reasons?
Definitely.
What are your reasons? You know, different Nigerians have opinions. Well, let's hear you.
First and foremost, the economy itself is not friendly.
Okay.
The economy itself, like I said earlier, it is difficult for the average Nigerian
to
man
actually run those scales of 001.
So what are we saying?
Okay.
The wages of every public service holder, both public and private, should be increased. Okay. Looking at the minimum wage itself. And secondly, now let's look at our government officials, the higher minds.
Don't go there.
No, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about that. When we're talking about the minimum wage, let's look at them. How much do they earn as salary?
Yeah. As their allowances, not their salary.
Leave the salary. Leave the allowances. Okay. Let's talk about their salary.
All right.
How much do they earn as their salary? What they earn as salary can take them for a month.
Surely.
Regardless the allowances.
Surely.
So what I'm saying in essence is all those allowances that you're giving to them, scrap them.
Oh.
See, I feel like the best way to bring Nigeria back to the way that we think to deform is whereby we make politics itself, government itself, those that are leading the aims of affairs of Nigeria, we make that very seat to its minimal. It's minimal not in the sense that we make it look as casual as it is.
Valueless.
But in terms of value, we reduce the value it gets. And secondly, we make it to a point whereby for every person that comes into power that is being found wanting at one point or the other faces the law.
Not after. Okay. While you're on seat.
See, now there is this immunity that covers every president and governor in the states, whereby once you're in power, for every wrong things you do,
you're not sanctioned for it yet
until you're out of office. Now tell me, let's assume I'm the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and in my second year in office, I have 4 years for my first year. In my second year in office, I was found wanting for probably bribery and corruption or looting of money and all of that. Do you think And during the process of impeachment, if there's going to be that process, do you think before I get to the 4th year, where my first tenure is going to end, don't you think
there will be some level of adjustment?
Yeah.
Surely.
In the sense that whoever that is going to interpret the law will definitely have. Don't you think that whoever is going to interpret the law at that point in time, who is going to sit as the Chief Justice of the Federation, is going to speak on my behalf?
Surely.
Definitely. I'm being found wanting for corruption, so I'll go all out to actually clear my name.
Clear your name.
So what we are talking about in Nigeria is the fact that coming back to the minimum wage, I feel like this is the right time for it.
Okay.
This is the right. Nigerians are suffering,
and
Nigerians are really, really suffering.
Okay.
You go to the streets and you see how people are struggling. Yeah, people are struggling just to make ends meet. And at the end of the day, everything that are coming into play in our economy is actually crumbling our efforts.
Okay. As
an ordinary man, it's crumbling our efforts. Looking from the rise of fuel and also the rise of food and commodities in the market. Now we know that as of today, we buy a pint of Gary for over 4,000 naira. Which is like really bad. This is what we don't need
reforms of national anthems, passing bills that do not favor the people in a democratic society.
We don't need. Sorry that I'm laughing, but it's a very serious issue. We don't need all of that. What we need is for good policies that will make our economy better. Every day our naira keep crashing to the dollar, and it's affecting our importation and all of that. But in times like this, I feel like this is June. We were told last year that the Dangote refinery is going to start working in January. But up until this time, no news. The transportation of Gary from our rural areas to the urban city is like super high. That's why when these goods come into the market, we tend to get it for a larger amount. And definitely this is the time. This is the time. This is the time where the government in terms of the presidency has to look into the minimum wage of the people and citizens, and workers, and just give them a raise.
Obviously.
Give them a raise. 100,000 is not enough. 150,000 I don't think is even enough. Let's look at 200,000.
Okay.
That's the start.
I sincerely appreciate your opinion. 200 and something thousand.
Yeah, it is because let's check the amount of money like each citizen spends for transportation. From one, we are in River State, Obiakpo to be precise. Let's say you're moving from Rupoku or Rumukoro and you're going to Eleme. Check the
obviously you're spending a lot.
You're spending a lot. Then check the amount you're paying to and fro. Then for
a family of 6, just like Labour said.
Now, and beyond that, if you can remember, we talked about the increase of house rents.
Exactly. And most landlords are pinning it that once they get to add up to the worker salary, everything skyrockets.
Skyrocketing.
All right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ekong Bright. This was yet again an honor to host you this very morning. Okay, we have come to the end of our newspaper review here on TAF TV. Like I earlier said, you also can be part of this show. If you have any comments in regards to the headlines that we have shared with you today, do well to drop it on our comment section. Follow us up on all our social media handles so that you keep updated each time we bring you videos that are showing the reaction, just like what we have shared with you today. My name is Eyoke, and I've been your host today. Like I told you earlier, I did not do this alone. I was here with my lovely brother, Ekong Bright, the man on the analyst. Thank you very much. Do well to take care of yourself.